that's when that will begin. But as you mentioned, Vicente, as we heard from Sherman, that now we're getting a sobering word that this may be the biggest search and rescue mission in the state's history. And because of the size of the city and the fact that we've had a hurricane at the strength that we've had in such a populated area, the damage is bound to be severe. Take a look at these pictures. This is off of Allen Parkway. We are just adjacent to this building, some new townhomes. As you were listening on the radio, what we're seeing is just missing shingles from the top of that townhome, and this is not far from the rising bayou.
Yeah, and you can tell right now, we know that most of you cannot see these pictures, but the wind, Doc, it's still blowing. You can see these sheets of just water just blowing horizontally, and over right next to the townhomes that Christine was talking about is Allen Parkway, running towards downtown, and then for those of you who will be familiar with this, this is the part of Allen Parkway that goes right near the Bat Cave. Yes, right.
I know there are people concerned about their lives. Some people didn't evacuate when asked, and I've been briefed on the rescue teams there in the area. They're prepared to move as soon as weather conditions permit. Obviously, people on the ground there are sensitive to helping people, and
get moving out on the streets. It's no longer so quiet here. That first round of police officers that we talked about with Steve LeBlanc just after an hour ago must have found that there were some ways to be passable out on the streets, because in the time since then we have seen some fire crews mobilized, getting their gear together, get ready to start trying to get out. We've actually seen some public works types vehicles actually out on the street, leave here and get out on the streets. The parking lot behind the San Luis Hotel was literally filled with city vehicles wall to wall not that long ago, and now it is starting to thin out as crews do attempt to get out. But the difficulty is, it's one of those things where it's still so windy, they're having a hard time even wondering about getting out of the hotel, because if you look down into the stairwell here, you can still see and hear the wind and the rain pounding Galveston Island. The winds seem to have subsided some, but it's definitely not over here, despite what radars may look like. We look at that radar picture, we have a tendency to look at that radar picture and think, finally, it looks like we're done.
That we're required by law to share. We have no indication that the water supply is contaminated. However, the water pressure in the water system that is serving the city of Houston and many of the small cities in Houston is reaching low pressure levels because of a power outage at a particular pumping station, which is important to our water supply.